Hey everyone, it's October 17th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Mack Edwards, who murdered at least 6, but perhaps as many as 22 children in Southern California beginning in 1953, and that is him right over there. I haven't been able to find out much about his childhood, but Edwards was born in Arkansas in 1918 and moved to California in 1941. After an arrest for vagrancy, he joined the Army Corps of Engineers and was trained in the use of heavy equipment and got married in 1946, ultimately adopting 2 children with his wife. In 1950, he moved to Pico Rivera in southeast Los Angeles County, which is my hometown, where he let neighborhood kids ride horses that he owned and took them camping. He found work with Caltrans, helping build the many freeways that enabled Los Angeles to grow as much as it has over the last 7 decades. In the 60s, he relocated the family to the suburb of Sylmar in the San Fernando Valley, best known for an earthquake in 1971 that led to changes in California's building code. 18 years before that tragic event, Edwards first caused tragedy for a family all on his own. In 1953, he abducted, molested, and murdered a child, an 8-year-old girl he snatched while at a flea market. After kidnapping the girl, he took her to his home where he abused her, then drove her to the Angeles National Forest where he tossed her off a bridge. He returned the next day and was surprised to find the girl alive, but unable to speak, and stabbed her to death, then buried her body in an embankment alongside the 5 freeway. Edwards claimed 2 more victims in 1956, his wife's 11-year-old sister and a 13-year-old neighbor. At the time, they were considered runaways, and their bodies have never been recovered. He claims to have tried to turn over a new leaf and swore off murder, but that didn't last, and 12 years later, he killed again. In 1968, Edwards broke into a neighbor's home intending to kidnap a 13-year-old girl, but she wasn't home, and he shot her 16-year-old brother instead. A month later, he murdered a friend of his son, luring the boy into an orange grove and stabbing him to death, then buried his victim beneath Highway 23 in Thousand Oaks, which Edwards was helping to construct. The next year, he kidnapped, molested, and shot a 13-year-old boy, leaving the body beneath a bridge. In 1970, he used an unnamed 15-year-old accomplice who was almost certainly another victim of his to help kidnap 3 sisters from their home. They were former neighbors, and after getting the girls to write runaway letters he hoped would cover his tracks, he drove them to the forest where 2 of them managed to get away. Knowing he would be easily identified, he released the third and turned himself in to the police. Edwards told them he planned on molesting and murdering the girls as he had done to 6 other children and claimed to feel enormous guilt about his actions. While awaiting trial, he attempted suicide multiple times and pleaded guilty and requested the death penalty. Sent to San Quentin, his cell was next to Charles Manson, and he eventually was successful with the suicide attempt, hanging himself with a cord in 1971. While Edwards was still alive, he claimed to have had as many as 22 victims, but also at times said he only killed 6, so it's hard to know exactly how many children he murdered. Authorities think there are at least 5 other victims they can link him to, some of whom are believed to be buried underneath Southern California freeways, so he may be driving over their graves without even knowing it. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Mack Edwards, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.